And what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to give everyone a brief overview of the platform itself, and then get into different sessions and how to basically start broadcasting, share video, share screen, and some other features that we have built into the platform. That's going to give your roles as speakers or moderators some different abilities. So again, within the platform, you have a open chat. So again, as the host of the event would be able to disseminate different information this way by pinning it. Your different attendees would be able to basically do good morning message, afternoon, so on and so forth here. There's a background image here. This blue bar is going to be showing it's a dynamic bar. So it's going to show all the sessions that are currently live within the platform. There's an about section. And right below that, it's going to show all of the sessions that's going to happen throughout the course of this particular event. Hopping over to the sessions area, in here you have filtering capabilities, and you can also add filters for tags or different tracks. So with a multi-day event, you can do different tracks throughout that day, and you can filter it to find whatever session you would like to sign up for that way. Right here is the speaker area, and in the speaker area, it's going to display most of all of the speakers for the duration of the event. If you click on any particular speaker, it's going to show what session they are assigned to, and if you are someone that's interested for that session, you can add yourself to that session right from here as well. The biography can be added as well, including different links, URL links to stay connected after this particular event. The next thing we have here is an exhibitor area. And in the exhibitor area, the different functionality is, again, the exhibitors can have a large background here, or they can put up a video, company icon. And once you click connect, you'll get a notification to either write a small note to them, or you could just send this interest right away. Exhibitors can also have presentation times as well as a normal about section. They can showcase the different staff members that's assigned to this virtual booth. They can upload photos, have videos embedded into the platform, and have different collateral being able to be downloaded by any of the attendees while visiting this virtual booth. We have this networking area here. Just one key note, there is an ability to make your profile private within the networking area. Once you toggle this off to be private, you can still message other people. And the only people showing up in this network area are going to be those who are showing their profile as public. But once you are showing your profile as public, you can hop over to anyone else here. You can start a conversation, and within the conversation with anyone you start within the platform, both parties will have to opt in. So what that's going to do is basically send a request and saying XYZ person wants to connect with you. And again, it's kind of similar to LinkedIn. You approve that message and you could go ahead and have communications back and forth. And built into the platform natively, you can have a one-on-one video call with another person within the networking area. Keep in mind, these tags here can be renamed. So for your event, they might not have the same name similar to my demo environment here. What I'll do for you guys, I'll hop into one of my sessions here, and that's Theories of Plant-Based Milk, and show you the different capabilities speakers / moderators have. So what I'll go over first is speaker capabilities, and then I'll move into moderator / admin capabilities. And I guess Julie will be able to distinguish who's going to be an admin within the virtual platform versus who's just going to be a normal moderator. over here, there is a backstage chat. And this backstage chat is only accessible to all of the speakers for this session, and it's going to be accessible by all the admin level personnel within the virtual platform as well. And so no one that is a general audience member will be able to see this. And with this, in that same breath, no one who is a speaker for a different session can see the contents here. So back here, you can have production conversations or just go back and forth between how the presentation is going and give each other different notes or tips as well. This tab is a general chat, and this general chat is open to everyone who has access to this particular session. There is an emoji keyboard if you and your teams like to get a little festive. That is available to, for your use. There is a Q&A section, and because I'm a speaker for this section, this is why the Q&As, I can see who is submitting these questions and what the questions are. On the general attendee side, these questions are submitted privately. So again, the only people who have access to the names of who have submitted these questions are going to be speakers within this session that's assigned to this session and admin level personnel within this virtual event. There is a polling feature here as well. So what you do as a speaker or a moderator is once you click into the session that will be starting and you're involved in, what you will do is click into the session and just hit start broadcasting. Once you hit start broadcast, you're now pushed to basically go live. One thing I do want to note is 30 minutes before every session that's built into our platform, there is a rehearsal mode. So in this rehearsal mode, what you can do is put those final touches on how you want to present if you're presenting with multiple people in one session. So again, you can go through your different slides, work out timing, different cues for how you'd like to present.
I got a quick question.
No problem, go ahead.
Is it TJ?
You can call me TJ, but it's pronounced TJ.
TJ, so this is Jeff Coleman. I'm up in Minneapolis. I'm just a presenter. In fact, I'm one of the first presenters on my day. Usually when I use Zoom, I just do the share screen button.
Yes.
And you said something about presentation or something. Do I just share screen and then I'll put my PowerPoint up?
Yes. If possible, what we would always recommend is the different people who would be sharing screen. If you do have two monitors, that'd be.
I don't have two.
Okay.
Well, I don't want to risk using two monitors. It's just a long story. I started with I'm not real technically savvy. Okay.
Okay.
We'll get that right up front.
I understand.
Okay.
But
so I'm going to need, will there be somebody available that morning in case I'm having any difficulty getting in?
Yes. So again, like I was saying, 30 minutes before the event, what you would do as a speaker is you'd hop into this event. It's going to say start rehearsal instead of that start broadcasting button you saw.
Okay.
And right here, it's going to show you in yellow, it's going to say rehearsal. Also, I always like to mention, there's a watch count here. So during your presentation, you can keep track of how many people are viewing your session.
Okay.
But if you are in rehearsal mode and you see this number go up or down, don't be too anxious. It's not that someone who's a general attendee is watching. It's someone that's in a admin role, and I'll go through that a little bit later. An admin role, simply viewing the rehearsal from what's called an audience point of view. So we usually do that just to check in to make sure the perspective is right.
But at some point I have to do the share screen to get my PowerPoint up on the screen, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll hop into how you share screen really shortly. I'll run through the different buttons you see at the bottom here. So for all of the moderators for each session, clicking this button will start the session record during this particular session. There is an audio and video input function, full screen of course, and then this is the share screen button. So once you click the share screen button, you're going to get a number of different options. What I like to say is click on the optimize for motion and full HD option. There's also going to be this important notice. A lot of people usually skip over this, but if you do have some type of audio baked into your share screen, I would suggest you pay attention to this and you'd click this here.
I don't have audio, but I do have a video.
Okay, so if you do have that, what you can do is again, and I don't think you can see this screen here that I'm showing, but you have different capabilities. One thing you can do is I have dual monitors, so it's asking me to pick either screen 1 or screen 2. The next tab over is going to ask me to pick a different application. So if I have PowerPoint running, I can just tell the platform to just only share my PowerPoint screen. Or if you're going to walk through a PDF or something, you can have that PDF up and you can tell the platform to only share that PDF itself. And that's instead of sharing your entire screen as well. Let me see, someone else is hopping into the meeting. The next tab is going to show the different Chrome links. And if you do have a PowerPoint or a video you want to share within Chrome, you can simply click one of these and it's going to show you, and that's where you check off a button at the very bottom, that share audio button. Any questions on sharing screen?
Hey, I have a question.
Go ahead.
When you click on that button, and let's say if it is a traditional PowerPoint file, like Zoom, do you have to have the PowerPoint file open? And then when you click on that button, it's going to show you the different windows that are open and you click on the PowerPoint file, like Zoom?
So within our platform, Zoom is more optimized. It's going to show you, Zoom basically shows you what you're looking at, as in what you're presenting, and also it can give you a view of everyone else that's presenting alongside you. Our platform unfortunately does not at the moment, but what it's going to do is going to move you to that window that you are sharing. So I would suggest you have that PowerPoint open and in presentation mode already set. So once the normal progression would be you do introductions and then you start getting into the content, and you'd already just have that open in another tab. So you just click into the application, you'd want to open your PowerPoint, and then you'd run it that way.
Okay, so the PowerPoint file needs to be open and already in presentation mode, and you just select it.
Correct.
Okay.
And then you'll be selecting it from the application window. So again, it only shares that application within your platform. And again, this is, again, me sharing my share screen. So it looks a little Inception-like, but this is just one of the capabilities, again, that we have here. Your audience member can use these functionalities at the bottom, which is hide remote stream. And it basically will take your video away. And so they can focus more on the content that you are sharing. And they can bring you back just by clicking the button. There's other switching display modes, and that's entirely up to them. It's not going to affect how you present. One thing I do want to add, if you are in a panel discussion or you are a moderator and you are just introducing someone to the general audience during the beginning of a broadcast, you can stay in this session and not be seen or heard, and all you would do would be turning your mic off and turning your camera off. I do want to note for the additional speakers that are in this session, it does look a little bit weird because you see that black box, but the audience member that is viewing from a standard audience view within the platform, they're not going to see that person who has their camera off and their mic off as well. They're only going to see one person on stage or on the virtual stage at this time broadcasting. Any questions on that? I know that could get a little complicated. All right. One thing I'll move on to is the views that you have if you are an admin level person. So an admin level access within the platform allows you to have access to multiple, basically all of the sessions that's going on in the platform. And it's, again, by design and administration level, you can delete different messages that come up in the chats, the different chats throughout the platform. You can pin things, you can delete things, so on and so forth. But with an admin view, once you enter a session, it's going to ask you to choose a role. And this is going back to what I spoke about when I was discussing rehearsal mode. You can choose audience mode, and if someone was here presenting already, you would simply be seeing their broadcast. But again, as an admin within the platform, I still have access to the backstage chat, the normal chat, of course, Q&A, and polling function. Keep in mind your event organizer can toggle all of these on and off if they do see fit. So this layout is not always this current layout, but just keep in mind, this is the standard layout. And again, and someone who has admin access will have access to all of these, and they will have to pick if they want to have a audience view or do they want to have a speaker view. I'll hop into what a speaker view currently looks like. And basically a speaker view is going to function, again, similarly as a normal speaker. But again, as an admin personnel, I am not listed at the bottom here. I do want to note, if you do have admin level access, if there is a presentation currently in progress and you choose to join as a speaker, your audio and your camera will turn on and you will start broadcasting with the speakers that are already broadcasting. So you could in fact interrupt their presentation if you choose a speaker role and not be cognizant of this. But again, as an admin level person, you can add yourself to a audience view within the platform. Any questions on this?
Yeah, I've got a quick question. This is
No
Rebecca.
problem.
So who will have admin level access, and what sort of access do the moderators have rather than the speakers?
Julie would, I believe, is going to be deciding who has the admin.
So Rebecca, you have admin access, but also the moderators will, because he was explaining to me earlier that moderators and admins are basically the same thing in the platform.
Yes and no. So what you can do for moderators who, let's say, not necessarily are the prime speakers, maybe your only role is just to introduce someone and then maybe monitor Q&A is what we've seen a lot of moderators do. Monitor Q&A, monitor the chat for different questions, hop back in when it's, again, Q&A time, give them information via the backstage chat. But if you're not one of the prime speakers and you're maybe like a host type moderator for an event, you can be added on the back end and be listed as a private speaker. So your information would not show up at the bottom, but you would have speaker access. So with that ability, what you would do is you would join this session or any other session you are assigned to within that rehearsal period, and you would start doing different rehearsal of cues again with the speaker and just walk through how this session is going to play out. But again, you won't have access. You won't be able to change whether you have an audience view or a speaker view. I do want to note again, if you do have speaker access to any one of these sessions and a speaker is currently speaking and you start broadcasting, you will interrupt their broadcast. But if you were in the case that this were to happen, all you would have to do is in the platform, turn off as quickly as you can, turn off your camera, turn off your mic, and then you will stop broadcasting to the audience that is viewing. But you will still be in the session and be able to watch the current speaker. So if you have a panelist type presentation and you want to do maybe 4 speakers, but you're having speaker 1 go first, then speaker 1 introduces 2, you simply would have all of the speakers access the session beforehand. Again, do different walkthroughs during rehearsal mode, and then right before the presentation or the session goes live, everyone else who's not speaker 1, simply just turn off your camera and your mic. Any questions on this?
I have a general question. So for
No
the
problem.
speakers, the moderators, or maybe even the participants, do we have to download any software or app for this, or is it all web-based?
This is our platform is web-based. We do have an iOS and an Android app you can download, and that will authenticate based on the email address you use to register for this event. So again, not similar to Zoom where you have a pack that you download to your computer to run it. You just have to go on a website. We highly recommend Chrome is the browser you choose to run this on. At the moment, we integrate well with Chrome and the latest version of Microsoft Edge.
Okay, so you don't have any preference over web-based versus your app?
It depends on how you'd like to have the experience. I say the only thing you can't do as a speaker on the platform that you can do on the web, but you can't do on the app is record function. And that's about it. All the other features that I've shown you at the very beginning, you still have that capability. So if you have the iOS version of our event app, you can go into our networking section and have those one-on-one conversations and still do a video chat within our app to another attendee. Again, as a speaker, you can join your session and you could start presenting. I also don't believe you can share screen within the app as well. So that is a limitation using the app.
Okay. The other, you mentioned about muting. Does the moderator have control to mute everybody except the speaker, or how does that work?
Not as yet. The current functionality, you are entrusted to mute yourself and turn off your camera when appropriate and how it's designated during your presentation.
Okay.
But if someone is having background noise that we've all experienced, that's another presenter, you can just simply message them via the backstage chat.
Okay. And this is a question for Julie. Julie, as a moderator, do we need to worry about recording, or all the presentations are going to be automatically recorded?
I am actually going to press the record button for every session, so you don't have to worry about it.
I do not want mine recorded.
Can you send me an email with that information, please?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Any other questions regarding the platform or just different functionalities, maybe specifically pertaining to how you would like to present?
I have a question. I'm a moderator, so I think you answered it with Malai's answer there about the mute, unmute. So if we're moderating, typically our function is to introduce the speaker. So we are speaking first. So if we picked viewer as opposed to speaker mode, we could still, everyone would still hear us, in other words. Audience role, or we have to pick speaker role to be able to introduce the speaker?
You would pick audience speaker role, sorry, if you have a speaking role within any presentation. And again, if you are just a moderator for the event, what you can do is give speaker controls, but just be unlisted on the speaker area, which is over here. And also, and I'll hop into this session. you could be unlisted in this area and unlisted in the speaker tab here when one of the general attendees starts. So again, you would start the broadcast. You would give an introduction of today's session, introduce yourself, introduce the speaker for this event, and then all you would do after that is turn off your camera. Again, after you've introduced them, you say, "I'm handing it off to Dr. XYZ," or something like that. Turn off your camera, turn off your mic, and what's going to happen on your end is you're going to see your box here is going to be black, and it's going to show the mic and camera off, but it's going to be split in half and showing the other speaker presenting. And again, just to follow up with this again, once you as a moderator or as a speaker turn your camera and your mic off within the platform, the audience is not able to view your stream. So again, if you are introducing someone, you can stay and watch and communicate with whoever is presenting via the backstage chat, or just keep an eye on the Q&A section if you would like to. But all you do is just turn your camera and your mic off.
Right, so we don't have to, we shouldn't get back out to switch to audience mode, stay in speaker mode so that we can manage the Q&A when they're done talking.
Absolutely. So you would not have to switch out. All you do is, again, turn your camera and mic off, and you could stay in for the duration of the session. And while the session is happening, you could maybe be communicating with them in the backstage chat. Hey, I've got a couple really great questions coming in from the Q&A. Let's tackle them in this order, and so on and so forth.
And I as a moderator, I could move the order of the Q&A for the speaker to manage those, I guess.
No. What we've been suggesting is, if there's a good question, and because these are submitted privately, it's really up to you. You can maybe give a housekeeping rules to say if you're submitting a question privately and you would not like your name to be said when the presenter is saying we're doing Q&A and Robert Smith has asked this question, you could ask them to put in a note that says, "Don't mention my name," or something like that, if they would not like to. We've seen that happen, and just because, again, it is submitted privately, some people don't want to be associated with the question. But you can copy the question here and input it in the backstage chat with a note beside it saying, "Answer this one first," and follow up with the next one and enter the next question.
This is Malloy. I have a question on the Q&A, following up to what Gwen was saying. So the moderator will have access to that Q&A tab. Will the speaker also have access to the Q&A tab and the question?
Yes.
Okay. And my understanding is all the question answers from the audience will be in the Q&A tab, and they cannot ask any live question?
They can ask live questions via the chat area. What we've seen is, even though there might be a Q&A area open, a lot of people still ask questions via the live chat. But are you asking if they can come on stage?
Yeah, on the camera.
Yes, that is a capability, but that would be up to the event organizer to either turn on that control for any particular event, any particular session. But that is something that can be done.
Yeah, and that may take up some time. So I think the moderator should be the one regulating the questions. Thanks.
No problem. Is there any other questions? All right. Well, if that's it, I do invite everyone. If you still have any if you have any new questions in the future, feel free to join the next one and bring those questions there as well. Also, we might have a way to provide you guys early access to the platform, maybe a day or two, just so everyone could get more familiar with the platform itself. So again, it's going to be a lot different from seeing me use the platform. You can use it yourself.
So who's moderating which session?